Welcome to my channel. If you like the content, please subscribe for more.
I just found out about affairs and need some kind words. Over the weekend, I discovered that my wife, who will soon be my ex, has been unfaithful at least twice. Unfortunately, my therapist is on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and I'm looking for someone who can relate to my situation. My wife and I have been married for a decade, and we have 2 children aged 6 and 7, a house, 2 dogs, and more. Our relationship has always been strong, but I realize now that we were codependent. Last year, she left her teaching job of 9 years to pursue opening her own business, which turned out to be unprofitable despite my warnings. She had to resort to waiting tables to supplement our income, which led to me taking on the bulk of the household chores, parenting duties, and feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and depressed. I felt like I was drowning, but my wife's ambition to run her own business was more important than our family. Eventually, my wife came to terms with the fact that the business was a failure and decided to shut it down. During this time, she became extremely distant and refused to talk to me about important matters or touch me. This was a drastic change from our previously affectionate relationship. In November, she dropped the bombshell that she wanted to separate in order to find herself by living on her own. I was already struggling with depression and anxiety, and her request triggered panic attacks that left me unable to work or function. My abandonment issues, stemming from my mother's death during my childhood, made it even more difficult for me to handle the separation. I had to rely on my parents to take care of the kids for a few days because I was unable to do anything. Fortunately, I had a strong support system comprising of my family and friends who helped me to recover from my emotional struggles. With their support, I was able to seek treatment for my anxiety and depression, start going to therapy, and work out regularly to find a healthy outlet for my emotions. During this time, my soon-to-be ex-partner went back and forth for several months. Uncertain about what she wanted, she would act affectionately some days or weeks, while being emotionally distant at other times. However, our intimate relationship remained unaffected throughout this period. Ultimately, she decided to leave and moved into her own apartment at the end of January, and we agreed to share custody of our children equally. Since then, I have been making significant progress in my personal growth thanks to therapy, regular exercise, and strengthened relationships with friends and family. I have also started to confront and work through past traumas and learned to love and value myself more. As a result, I realized that I deserve better than what my partner was putting me through, and I told her 2 weeks ago that I wanted a divorce. However, this past Saturday, my soon-to-be ex asked me to meet her for drinks, and I agreed. During the conversation, she apologized profusely, expressing her love for me and admitting that she took me for granted. We ended up going to her place and being intimate. Afterwards, I asked her if she had been seeing or talking to anyone else while we were separated. Fortunately, I had a good support system from family and friends, which helped me overcome anxiety and depression by taking medication, attending therapy, and working out regularly. During the months that followed our separation, my ex wavered in her feelings for me, sometimes acting normal and affectionate, other times cold and distant. Despite the emotional turmoil, we continued to have a physical relationship. Eventually, my ex decided to move out, and we agreed to split custody of our kids equally. During this time, I focused on my personal growth, becoming physically fit, developing new friendships, and facing my emotional issues with my mother. After 2 weeks, I decided to divorce her because I deserved someone who truly appreciated me. However, one day, my ex asked me to go out for drinks and apologized for everything. She professed her love for me and said she didn't want to lose me. We ended up sleeping together again, but after I asked her if there was anyone else, she confessed to sleeping with someone else during our separation, despite our agreement to remain faithful. Although hurt, I was grateful that she was honest with me. While she was in the shower, I looked at her Snapchat messages and discovered that she had been exchanging hundreds of messages with a coworker from the restaurant where she worked. They had even messaged each other while we were together. The man was older, overweight, and had a lower paying job than me, but they expressed their love for each other and used affectionate nicknames. I ended things with her because her betrayal hurt me deeply. I felt discarded and unappreciated after taking care of her for over a decade. Despite receiving sympathy from those around me, no one truly understood the depth of my pain. Redditors' reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. Working his tail off being a dad, strong. Going to therapy and dealing with things, strong at. Realizing he had enough and ending it, superhuman. Redditor 2. In all honesty, Op, you handled this situation perfectly. You took a break, established healthy boundaries, focused on self-improvement, sought assistance when necessary, and fulfilled your husband and father responsibilities. However, your wife is the source of the issue. She has been ill for some time and became unhappy when she left a good job to pursue what she believed would bring her happiness. Instead of seeking assistance like you did, she internalized everything and distanced herself from you, following her failure in this endeavor. The speaker believes this is not her first affair, and that it is difficult not to blame herself for keeping all of these secrets a secret. Despite all this, she continues to have time with you because she still has some feelings for you, and she knows it will keep you around. Additionally, she cannot completely release you, or she will be free release you, or she will be forced to confront her issues and herself. Regarding the fry cook, the speaker believes that your wife is ducking him because of the attention he is giving her, which helps her avoid feeling as bad as she should be. The speaker thinks that she doesn't love him, but just loves the attention that distracts her from reality. The speaker hopes that you will fight for sole custody of your children because your wife is going through a difficult time and it may not be in the best interest of the children to split their time with her. Overall, the speaker believes that you are acting appropriately and that you are not responsible for this matter. It is your wife's fault, and she must deal with her problems in a healthy manner. Op answer. Thank you for typing all of this out and validating me. And thank you for the kind words. Unfortunately, I don't think fighting for full custody is something I can pull off, and neither does my lawyer. In my state, 50-50 is the default unless there are extenuating circumstances like abuse, and it's especially hard for the father to get full custody. I do agree that I don't want to leave my kids with her during her spiral of self-destruction, but I don't really have another choice. Redditor 3. This guy is 45, overweight, and a fry cook. Where's I am? Objectively, very attractive fit, id engineer with good pay and a stable career. This is the way it happens. I know it's impossible, but don't take it personally. People that cheat often do so with whoever is available and willing to sneak around, which is usually only unattractive people desperate for whatever attention comes their way. My ex-wife cheated on me with an overweight, ugly, poor-complexioned minimum wage security guard in her building, who still lived with his mom. While complaining to me that I wasn't attractive enough, I was voted hottest guy in my high school and was featured in my university campus magazine as Hot Guy on Campus magazine as Hot Guy on Campus, and didn't make enough money, 6 figures in my mid-20s, bought us new condo, whatever she wanted. You can't make this stuff up. Again, don't take it personally. She knows you're more attractive and worth more than this guy. And when you're ready, other women are going to be all over you because of it. Up answer. Oh, that's another point I totally forgot about. Thank you for reminding me. I also always needed to make more money. She complained constantly that my career wasn't advancing fast enough, that I should be making more. We live in a relatively low-cost area. I have no degree, and I make $85,000 a year. Meanwhile, while she was teaching, she made about $50,000, and the business and bartending was even less. But no, I was always the one that needed to make more. I'm glad I'm not the only one. And I've already had so many women that I've told, and they've been like, what the duck is wrong with her to leave someone like you? Story 2. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, a 30-year-old office worker. My wife, Erica, and I have been happily married for 2 years now, and we still love each other like newlyweds. As I arrived home, my neighbor greeted me. Oh, Mr. Smith, you're home. You're in an even better mood than usual today. Did something good happen? I replied, actually, it's my wedding anniversary with Erica. Oh my, no wonder why you'd be in a happy mood. So, are you on your way to celebrate with your wife? She asked. Yes, indeed. I bought her a bouquet of flowers, I said. My neighbor complimented the flowers. What a magnificent bouquet of roses. I'm sure your wife will love them. Oh, I'm making her wait. If I talk too much, I'm sorry. I responded, No. Thank you for always looking out for us. See you later. Just as I was about to say goodbye, there was a loud thud, and I felt a strong shock that made it difficult to stand up. It's an earthquake. It's huge, I shouted. My neighbor calmed me down. Calm down and protect your head. Moving around too much is dangerous. The intense shaking continued for about 30 seconds. When I could finally stand again, I looked around and saw fallen roof shingles and shattered glass scattered on the ground. That scared me. That earthquake was so strong. My garden is in ruins, even my husband's precious cactus, my neighbor said. I replied, Oh no, I'll help you clean up. But my neighbor insisted, this isn't the time for that. Shouldn't you get home and see how Erica is? You're right. See you later then. If something happens, let me know right away. As soon as my husband comes home, I will send help for you, I said. Our house is a 55-year-old house that has been rattled here and there before the earthquake. I wondered if it might have collapsed during the quake. Such anxiety crossed my mind for a moment, but it turned out to be just a misunderstanding. Thank goodness only some of the tiles had fallen off, but the house itself seemed to be in good shape. At a glance, my house stood there with the same scenery as usual. It's still a good one, story house. It's still a good one, story house. It seems to be much more resistant to earthquakes than those poorly built new houses, I thought. But when I put my hand on the sliding front door to enter the house, I noticed something unusual. The sliding door would not open even though I pulled it. Perhaps the house itself has been tilted by the tremor. This is why I hate old houses, I muttered. I had no choice but to go around to the backyard and look for another place where I could enter the house. Fortunately, the storm shutters were more secure than before thanks to the earthquake. As I entered the house, I was surprised at how easily I could get in. Hey, Erica, are you here? I called out, wondering if my wife was having trouble getting out of the house. I searched frantically around the house, but Erica was nowhere to be seen. I found her shoes at the front door, so she couldn't have gone out anywhere. It was strange because at this time of night she would normally be in the kitchen preparing dinner, but today was our wedding anniversary, so I had come home earlier than usual. Maybe she's out shopping for dinner, I muttered to myself as I walked towards the bedroom. That's when I saw the bed made and clothes and underwear for two people lying on top of it in a messy pile. Tissue balls were scattered all over the place, and a fishy smell made me wrinkle my nose. It's no use. It's not opening. Do something. You're a man, aren't you? It's your fault for living in this chubby house. The house has been tilted by the earthquake. What are you going to do? My husband will come home. A voice came from a small room on the opposite side of the bedroom. It was the bathroom, a private room for one person. But I heard two voices coming from inside, probably Erica and her lover. That's when I realized I had left behind the bouquet of flowers I got for Erica. But at that moment, I had no desire to rush back and feel bad for Erica. All I could think about was how I was going to hunt her down. Strangely, my mind was calm, despite discovering the betrayal of my beloved wife. Ignoring Erica and the man yapping in the bathroom, I headed to the bedroom. There, I found Erica's clothes and underwear. Without hesitation, I grabbed them and tossed them in the backyard, along with changes of clothes in the closet. We were ready to go. Wait a minute, I thought. It would be a shame not to record such a decisive moment. I remembered I had a fork camera in my study that I had bought the other day. I wondered what I would do if it had been damaged in the earthquake, but it looked like the camera was safe and sound. I am now all set, and all I have to do is get Erica and her lover out of the cramped bathroom as soon as possible. I knock on the bathroom door. Excuse me, anyone in there? How long are you going to be in the bathroom? Come out already, or I'm gonna pee my pants. I hear a reply from inside. What the hell are you talking about? I'm stuck in a bathroom. I offered to pry open the door for them, but they declined, saying they can handle it themselves. However, the thin walls of the house let me hear their conversation clearly, including their argument about getting a divorce. Realizing the situation is not bad enough to call for a rescue team, I try calling our neighbor for help. It takes some time to get through, but finally, Mrs. Richards picks up. I explain the situation to her and ask for some tools to pry open the door. She and her husband agree to come over and help, but Erica is worried because she's completely naked. I can't help but feel angry at her betrayal, but I assure her that everything will be okay. Within minutes, I hear the sound of a crowbar being used to pry open the front door. Finally, it opens, and my friendly neighbors and a large crowd of people who heard the commotion gather around. I was feeling a mix of emotions as we discussed the affair between Erica and her partner. On one hand, I was glad that the truth was finally out and there was no more hiding. On the other hand, the situation was awkward and uncomfortable. The house was still a mess from the earthquake and we were all cramped in a small space. I couldn't wait to get out of there. As we talked, I couldn't help but feel sorry for Erica's husband. He seemed genuinely hurt and betrayed by her actions. I wondered how he would move on from this and if their marriage could survive. As for Erica and her partner, they seemed more concerned about the consequences of their actions than the hurt they had caused. After what felt like hours, we finally came to an agreement. Erica and her partner would end their affair and never see each other again. Erica's husband would decide whether or not to forgive her and try to work on their marriage. We all left the house feeling drained and emotionally exhausted. As I walked back to my own house, I couldn't help but reflect on the events of the day. It was a reminder that actions have consequences and that secrets never stay hidden for long. The subsequent discussions and the divorce settlements went rather smoothly. I demanded $30,000 in alimony from Erica and the same amount from Ben. Also, Ben's wife demanded $20,000 from Erica and $50,000 from Ben. In no time at all, the two adulterous idiots were deep in debt. Disasters are scary because they can take away in an instant what people have worked so hard to accumulate. But in this case, it was a man-made disaster though. However, I don't really care about that now. By the way, I used the down payment I got from Erica and Ben to build a new house. I am living a comfortable single life there. Recently, I have found a woman with whom I have a good relationship and my life is smooth sailing in its way. I think I'll just let bygones be bygones and take a step forward into a new life. Only in the bathroom did we witness the shocking truth about Erica and Ben's affair. We hope to never encounter a situation like this again. Please subscribe to our channel.